This podcast was for you.
Sorry, I started it. You're in the middle of talking. All right, everyone. It is February 18th today at time of recording. The session is called The Biggest Dawg. Don't know why. Thought it was funny. But here with Big Dawg, Brian.
Oh!
All right. Okay. We're going to talk about some stuff.
And do some things.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how far we get. But yeah. So how's it going?
It's going all right, man. Getting ready to go on vacation next week, and like I said last week, it's my first one in almost 4 years, so I'm just looking ready to sit by the poolside, drink a mocktail, because your boy ain't drinking, but he wants to live that lifestyle. So, gonna have my Hawaiian shirt propped open, let my gut hang, and I don't know what else you do. Vacation, I haven't been on in 4 years, so I couldn't really tell you.
Yeah, you get you one of those, drinks that come out of a pineapple, might have a little umbrella in it, maybe like a twisty straw or something. Nothing too crazy.
Exactly. All right, you know what it is then. But what's up with you, man? How's it going?
It's going. I bought last weekend bought like a $700 espresso machine, and
fun.
Yeah, but started making. I wasn't even going crazy. I kind of got hooked on it. Tuesday through Thursdays in the office, we have espresso machines. Started making lattes, so that was just kind of my daily. And then I was sometimes in the morning working from home. I would go to Starbucks and get a latte. So I figured I could just buy something, start making it at home. But the community for espresso machines on Reddit is really snobby, I guess.
Oh yeah,
like they're like anything like coffee related. It's like, oh yeah, that's a good machine. It might be good for you until you want to upgrade. I'm like, this is a $700 machine. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
So
that's what restaurants buy. Like,
yeah,
and that's at the high end. But yeah,
it goes up. It goes up quite a bit. They were talking about separating like a espresso machine and a grinder, and like in case you want to upgrade one later on, and like all these different experiments that people do with like different grind sizes and how much pressure and what it does to the taste and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm way too white trash to really get too far into this. Like it was brewing beer, it was gardening, it was kombucha, like some of that stuff. Like it was just kind of simple enough, compared to what people are doing with, I don't want to have to take 20 minutes to make a coffee and then sit there and like, oh man, this $700 machine really isn't doing it. Like I just kind of wanted to buy it and hope to have it for when I needed it. But anyways, I think it was Sunday, I started having heart palpitations. So that went on for like 6 or 7 hours. So I kind of gave up, coffee for a little bit. And then Tuesday I had to go back to work. I had Monday off, but I decided to stay home just because, I got up and had like some muscle aches and stuff and felt better later on in the day, but I haven't had caffeine for a little while. So it was, kind of a different experience, like going through work and trying to keep that energy up without, kind of that caffeine boost. Because I guess you really don't see how much you relied on it until you stop using it. But I was reading another article too about, like high performance and some of these things with like you're kind of creating an environment to give yourself a sense of urgency, and that's like what you feed off of. And with the increase in stimulants, I think that was also kind of part of it. So it's good in the interim, but you're also like kind of burning too hot. So it gives you a chance for you to kind of burn yourself out, and it's harder to manage stress. There's things about like, you know, impulse control and kind of like how leadership or like high performers and like their brain chemistry kind of changes. So they're like talking last week about, like feeling like I'm losing something with myself or stuff that I've picked up for a long time that I want to carry with me. And um, yeah, a lot of that just kind of got me thinking of, how do I get into the right mindset so it's sustainable and I can, maintain the same output and productivity, but also, kind of do some of those tamp downs of, maybe this will lead me in the wrong direction. Like it's not sustainable. Like I'm fine for now, but yeah, it really opened my eyes to kind of that thought. And unfortunately, it never really comes until you have heart palpitations for 7 hours and it feels like your heart's hiccuping for a while and you can't get yourself to calm down. But some of it's just kind of like that wake up call. And I think just looking out for those signals and checking in with yourself. And it's got me at least back to a path of like, okay, let's worry about hydration. Let's try to get through the day and not need as much caffeine or whatnot. And I guess kind of helps with that too. Because it's, training to be kind of adaptable, because I'm not going to have that ability every day. Some nights you're not going to get the best sleep. Sometimes you're going to be more stressed than you normally are, but, just trying to keep within myself regardless of the situation. I know that was short story long, going from lattes to kind of existential crisis about where my mind state is heading, and doing some things. But yeah, I unfortunately sometimes jump around a lot and try to, maybe make connections that aren't really there. But if it kind of leads me back to a path of like, hey, I think this could be helpful, then it's good for me.
Yeah, for sure. Glad you checked yourself before you wrecked yourself. So, always a good life motto to have. Um, but always lessons to be learned in overconsumption of coffee, I suppose. I so I used to drink like I think I have like a 16-ounce turbis. I used to have that twice a day. Now I'm down to about half of one. Because I fill it and then I'll do like a protein shake in there just for like creamer and flavor. It's part of my breakfast like morning routine. So I'm drinking less coffee. I definitely feel less jittery. I feel like not everyone out in the world's is out to get me. I definitely started having like that paranoia, but
The fear.
yeah,
That's what I call it. It's like, are you drinking another latte? And like, yeah, but this is my last one. So if I have three, I start to get fearful.
yeah. I know it's like if you think like that coworker across like from you who's like just constantly staring at you and they're just like looking at their screen, and then like you look back and then they start making eye contact because you've been staring at them for 20 minutes. Like it's one of those situations. Luckily I'm not experiencing that much anymore. So but yeah, I am not getting as great of sleep lately, only because of like here in Michigan it's gone from teen or below to like 40s and 50s. So automatically means I'm like spiraling into a sinus infection. So sort of taking some precautions. Like I got a product called Nasal Fresh. It's a nasal irrigation system, just to help like clean out my like nose full of snot buildup and all that. It's been very helpful. Like I can feel like I can breathe a little bit more. So, but like my recovery when I wake up in the morning sucks. Like I just feel not great. Drainage, sore throat. Like
Yeah.
I didn't. I wouldn't. I work from home today. Normally, I work from home Thursday and Friday, but if we're feeling sick or kind of have that, we can work from home. Obviously, not to abuse it, but um, yeah. So I'm not feeling like the greatest and not sleeping the greatest. So at my lunch hour, I've just been kind of taking a power nap, and it's been helping a lot. So um, just kind of focused on rest this week. Um, as I get ready to next week for a full vacation of just rest and recovery. So, um, luckily, it's going to be at least pretty consistent weather in Florida. It's going to be in like the 80s. I think it sounds like the or high 40s, low 50s in the evening. So it's not going to be here where it's like 50 and then like 15 to 20 at night. So got that going for me next week. Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of just been like my annoyance because like I knew as soon as it like hit 50, I'm gonna like wake up with like a sore throat, and sure enough, the next day I did. But psych myself to get psyched out. Um, I doing the best I can to kind of like I'm still functional. I can probably go into the office. It's just like one of those things. It's like why people are gonna freak out because I have a little muffled voice and like maybe a little bit thick breathing. I don't want people to get the wrong impression. So I'm just working from home and kind of enjoying it and revamping my desk so it's more of a Lord of the Rings theme. Just putting my energy into that when I do have it. So
Yeah. So yeah, kind of along the same themes of checking in with yourself, and also, maybe not so much a self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, I have a hard time when the weather changes as well. So that's what I was kind of thinking on, Tuesday when I woke up and, I had body aches, if that would just because of, the weather change. I'm not entirely sure like what causes it, or just like an increase in humidity. So it's like our, bodies kind of have to adapt, your sinuses, your breathing, or whatever it is. If it's like just from pressure, something. I mean, the Weather Channel, they always talk about like high pressure area, low pressure area. I'm like, I have no fucking idea what this is. Like, I have somewhat of an idea. Like, high pressure is like harder for it to like shift, and then low pressure just kind of like comes and goes. I think I could be entirely wrong, but anyways, yeah, I stayed home on Tuesday too. It's like I, really just didn't have the energy. Like if I have whatever energy I had was going to go into, working for that day. It's not going to be, you know, getting up, getting ready, getting into work late, and, kind of slogging around the office for a few hours until I can go home. Right. So,
yeah, yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's like when I wake up or when you wake up, obviously you're gonna feel your worst because everything's kind of settled, and once you start kind of get moving, maybe you feel better, but later in the day. But I don't know. Overall, just it's not worth it. It's like go through the energy of getting ready and driving into work, especially if you got a longer drive, and that's already takes energy away from you to begin with. So added on top, you're not feeling well. It's just not worth it. So yeah, but glad you took care of yourself on Tuesday. So um, but yeah, before we were kind of talking, I mean, do you want to chat about it? Sounds like you're kind of hitting some more challenges at work when you are going or when you do have gone in this week.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of more or less the same, you know, and, whether it's me or maybe, just kind of a mix of everything, but maybe a bit of imposter syndrome, or a lot of energy expended, like trying to learn a lot in different domains, and kind of how everything functions together. And, with pulling data and where you pull it from and how you do it, and like comparisons and a lot of these other things, like there's a lot of context that's involved in it. So, um, it's definitely like times where I feel like I'm doing all the right things, and, it's still wrong. And, it's hard to really put a gauge on like, where I'm at currently because, it's pretty stressful times, I think, for everyone around in the office. There's like a lot of asks going around and a lot of understanding needed, presentations to be had in that. So kind of had one of those moments today, another trial by fire, or I think like learning how to swim and I'm being thrown into shark infested waters.
Right.
So kind of handling two things at once, but it's good in that sense, of just kind of stimulating work. But there's just like seems like waxing and waning, or like times that feel like I'm doing everything right and everything's running smoothly, and talk to coworkers and I'm able to help them out, or I notice something, call it out, and it's like, oh yeah, we weren't aware of this, we didn't see this, etc. And there's just like a lot of other times, like there's times where things aren't as aligned as I'd like them to be, or some of the asks, and trying to get like more clarification on what it is we're trying to do, what problem are we trying to solve, like so yeah, I mean it's not only a lot in like the data itself, but there's layers and layers on top of that, in terms of as far as where I'm at right now. Like I said, I mean, I can look through data, I can kind of gather insights, I can see where things are going wrong, and um, like a lot of stuff that uh, kind of things that I'm good at, pattern recognition, process mapping, kind of documentation, process improvement type things. But like some of the things I understand that are kind of pretty hard to understand are, pretty hard for me to be able to explain to people as well. So I don't really have like a context of what it is. Uh, it's kind of hard to do, on top of all the other asks and tasks and other things that kind of come through. So it's like, yeah, I would like to. I guess they kind of alluded to it in the interview process, but when you're facing time conflicts and you're trying to prioritize things, and like what are the things that you want to focus on, and in that. So I feel like there's like a lot of choices that need to be made like throughout the day on like kind of what to focus on, and which emails that kind of need to respond to right away, and when to kind of identify where a meeting's needed, or like hop on a call to kind of understand what it is we're trying to do with some of these things. Like it's it's a lot to try to manage. So it's harder to look back and say like I'm a lot further than I was before, because yeah, I mean it just seems like there's always so much more to learn, and kind of how the company operates and how you present things, and all this other stuff. But yeah, it's very difficult to like feel good, I guess, even though I am putting in a lot of effort and a lot of hours and trying to do the best that I can. Sometimes that effort doesn't lead to what I think it's going to. So yeah, I mean it's hard to reconcile. Like if I'm on the right path and doing the right things, but at the end of the day, I just gotta keep working at it, keep trying, and I think I'll get there eventually. But yeah, it's I'm tired, boss.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing that they don't put in the job description. Sometimes it's like all the you know, you're basically your own lack of a better term, your own boss. You're responsible for your own development and managing your own tasks. Because I think pretty much every place, especially like in tech or anything involved analytics, right? Like those managers are kind of busy themselves, right? Like their work's got to get done. It's not like they're just sitting on their thumbs either. So fortunately, kind of just always falls on you, to be a little bit self-directive, kind of find your own work, find your own way sometimes, especially like for you in your instance where it's like this is a fairly new position for them as a company. So, might not always be receptive to, not maybe there's a better way for this process, or you found something in the data that, needs improvement or needs more focus on. So, yeah, I think you'll get there. It's just, you have to show them a reason, um, that what the work you're doing has value. I mean, obviously, I think you're doing good work and all that. It's just, I know that I work for a company, and while all my peers and people who are directly involved or understand what I'm doing, there's people within the company who think I'm trying to like take their jobs or trying to like pick away at the available dollars, trying to take money out of their pockets, or just like outsource their job to AI, which couldn't be anything further from the truth. In fact, I'm trying to like put time back into their day so they can go out and get more business. But you just got to present them the value, whether it's the data or the projects that you're doing, or what you're communicating, whatever it is. Show them a different light each time, and I think eventually, these people, stakeholders, will catch on. And I think with that, like, maybe we'll start to feel better and kind of lose your imposter syndrome. But again, all this stuff takes time, and if you're working a lot of hours, it can lead up to burnout. Like the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of experiencing burnout of sorts, where it's just my wife's been working constantly, and obviously we don't need the money, but we need the money type of deal. It's nice to have it. Well, like we haven't seen each other a lot. It's really just been like my son and I for like the last, we'll call it 2 weeks. So it's been a harder bit, and my wife and I kind of had like a short little blow up fight about it, of like resentment from me was starting to build up, and I just had to express that to her. And again, from her perspective, it's hard to see that because of all the work she's done, and she's tired and all that too. But we just had to have kind of a real conversation and just kind of align with things, and I think we both came out on the better side of it for both of us. Actually, as a matter of fact, after we finish this podcast, it's like I gotta go finish packing clothes. I just haven't had time or energy the last couple of weeks to do it, and my in-laws are driving down to Florida on Friday, so I gotta get that done. It's tough, but it's the conversations will be had, and people will see things from a different light. It just takes time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the main thing, with doing some of the stuff. A lot of what I do isn't exactly visible. It's not like shown a lot. There's a lot of collaboration within my team and with other teams, and I just want to work right. I just want to take care of the stuff that I need to take care of, and that be the end of it. Allotted time for some of the projects and stuff that were given to me, and be able to take that time and kind of schedule out that time to work on it, right? So I don't feel like I'm rushed all the time. But yeah, it it comes with time, it comes with trust, it comes with kind of that visibility and speaking up and all those things. So I mean, that's the main thing at like a big company is like, how do you really find your role? And I felt like I did, and felt like I was in a better groove and these things. And last couple of months have just been a ton of urgent requests. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of been tough to find my way. And once I find my way, then it's like, okay, how do I find my groove into, kind of taking care of some of these things as they're supposed to happen. I mean, I have a few things that are supposed to be done before the end of the quarter that I haven't started on yet. I've got, um, some process improvements for some processes that I'm supposed to hand off to somebody else that have a good amount of tech debt in it. And I mean, like, uh, from when I started, I mean, it's basically like credit card debt. Like it's gotten harder to pay off because I've kind of removed myself from understanding exactly how it works. So when I come back to it, I have to like retrain myself for that. So it's like a whole other aspect of it of like, yeah, I mean, if I was able to get all the way through it, it would have taken a lot less time. But now it's like I have to relearn, how things work. I have to, vet the data to make sure that things are coming back the way that I expected it to and what have you. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of the cycle of things. Like I don't really get discouraged even throughout the day. It's like I really don't have time to even really care that much about how this presentation went or how I presented myself or a lot of the stuff that I put a lot of time and work and effort into, like that just didn't show. I think that's just kind of life. You know, sometimes you do put in a lot of effort and a lot of work, and it's just either not reciprocated or it doesn't lead you to where you thought you were going to be. But I know like a lot of other people have it worse, and just the opportunity and still having the opportunity is enough for me to try to seize it. So we just keep on trucking along, and that is the mantra of the biggest dog.
Exactly. Oh, but yeah, what have you been doing? I mean, besides drinking coffee, tea, or almost death, what have you been doing in like your your downtime?
I'm trying to get back into reading, but I haven't really had like the mind state for it. There's like a shift that happens, like 15 minutes when you start reading, like your brain just, or at least my brain, like fights me. It's like you could be watching YouTube, you could be watching TV, you could be doing something else, but uh, and I haven't had the power to kind of qualm that. Like I already dread like those 15 minutes until I can like actually start reading. So I haven't been doing that. Sauna bag, been pretty consistent with the sauna bag for a while. And I wanted to start working out again, but I also haven't gotten around to doing that. So, um, not really, not really much of anything, besides hanging out with friends. I actually went and got a couple massages over the last couple weeks. So that's been nice. Just trying to, reconfigure my body and in the hopes that I can, get back to the gym. But yeah, I think I don't know, as far as like the 8 hour workday or whatnot, I'm generally like 7:30 to whenever I think it's, my brain stops working. So it's kind of hard to take time to do kind of like some of that stuff throughout the week. Cause I mean, it's not manual labor by any means, but for me, it's just like very mentally dense work. So you get finished with it and I just like have enough energy to get home. And by the time I get home, it's just like, okay, well, I have, you know, 3 or 4 hours before I have to get ready to go back into work because I got to get enough sleep to kind of recover for the next day.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's like all the shit that I get from like my manual labeler friends. It's like, well, you work in an office, so you know, you're not putting a toll on your body, or as I'll say that to make it sound polite, but um, yeah, that's the thing. That's like, especially like a high level job where it's like, like I'm a master business analyst, and it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sitting on my butt for most of the day, but like, also I'm like trying to solve like real world business problems, and we're trying to like turn a penny into a pound. Like we're trying to find new revenue streams. We're trying to find new processes to streamline things. We're trying to like, you know, save money. We're trying to so we can, all the different things, all while sitting on our butt. So it's like we're a sedentary lifestyle. So we're kind of like already working against ourselves to begin with, and now we're trying to also, like, I'm not trying to make it like we're like, NASA scientists or doctors here, but it's not like we're just like just sitting here staring at an Excel sheet all day. I mean, maybe that's most of my day, but I've got to hop on meetings. I've got to cater to all forms of different communication to different people. Like I have to be prepared for these meetings. I have to come up with a slide deck. I have to still write code. I have to plan out architecture, which still is hilarious to think about. Because I'm like still not the best UI designer, but it's come a long way since I've started this job. It's a whole different skill set that I've had to learn. That's the other thing too. It's like, I mean, I'm sure manual labor people are learning new skills every day, just like, but we are as well. It's like if you were to ask me 6 months to a year ago if I knew how to actually design a page and what I'm looking at. I mean, I probably could have given you a general, a very very generalized idea of what it would look like, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm in project management. Like I'm not a, was it CMC, I think, or CPM. I'm not like the fancy certified project manager. I have it through my certification through Google, so that's a decent start. Um, all of these skills that I've had to acquire and spend times that like not at work doing this, then on top of that, raising a child and all of that. But that's neither here nor there. It's, but to add to your point, it's like we're we're doing a lot mentally. So like we're working our brain muscle, and as part of my recovery, when I come home, I make sure to finish my 10,000 steps for the day. Sometimes it'll take 90 minutes on a walking pad, but I get there and I feel better. I get like that, I guess, like dopamine rush of reaching my daily goal. So, and physically I'm getting better and feeling better. So, maybe just doing the opposite of what you do all day, even so for like half an hour, like I think that goes a long way into like uh, your sort of recovery process, or we talked about it last week. You're coming back into society, coming back into mentally mental restart. I guess I'll call it. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's very tiring. May seem boring to most, but we are doing a lot of exhausting things at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't know, like adds up, and it comes from like, okay, well, where are you at with your foundation and the kind of energy levels that you have? So kind of similar with like exercise, right? It's like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go to the gym today and haven't worked out in a while and try to put 225 on the bar. Like
Right.
maybe some people will be able to do that, but you got to kind of build your way up. And when you're dealing with, albeit manual labor or office work or whatnot, it's like your brain's a muscle. And you got to exercise it, and you got to, similar to your body, you got to eat right and sleep well, and kind of increase your energy envelopes as you can. And it's good to hear that you stick to that 10,000 step goal. That's awesome to you know get to doing that. I'm guessing most days you're able to accomplish it. So regardless of kind of the day you've had or whatnot.
Yeah. It's prior to the pandemic and getting an office job, I was working retail. So I was, you know, even back then, the goal was still always 10,000 steps. And I'd reached that by like noon, I think, or halfway through my day. So, like, I didn't really see a point to tracking it. Well, then, you kind of fall out of that habit, and then you change your lifestyle completely by doing office work, and you're sedentary. You don't realize it, and then all of a sudden gained 100 pounds. So it's like, oh, I guess I got to start doing the 10,000 steps again. Um, but just one of small things that I remember what made me successful of staying in shape and giving me energy when I needed it, and not help my certainly it's helped my seasonal depression because like I was just was the weather was just really starting to get to me, but that this walking pad has kind of saved saved my mental health in a way. So it was
Yeah.
one of the best purchases I've ever made.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I try to do the same thing with like a golf simulator league, and then everyone kind of backed out. So I haven't had as much to do, over the winter. But besides the gym, which I still need to get back to. I got to figure out something to do, you know, um, about that. But in any case, it's those small steps, or those 10,000 small steps you do every day. And then, also just kind of checking in, right? And like, well, I want to, what's the next step for me? What else do I want to accomplish with doing this? Or, it's exercise related and just like mental health related, or some other form of personal improvement. And, I think that's where I kind of get stuck in some ways, right? Because some of the things like I can, especially at work, like I can handle, I can take on, like I already have this, let me just spin this out real quick. And, there's kind of some of that block because you feel good about like, you know, getting a task and being able to finish it very quickly. Well, with the projects and those things, I think like the coding camp really humbled us with, well, you got to build out like your plans and your steps and your foundation and how to build from that. And that's kind of something harder that I haven't been able to do just because my mental state has just been, jumping from concepts I don't really have too much knowledge in. So then I have to learn about it to be able to put something together and send it over that's somewhat legible. And then, it doesn't really allow me too much time to kind of focus on some of the conceptual stuff of, kind of what would be the best way to do this. How do I start? Where do I start with and that? But for you or me or anyone, I think the small steps and those habits and kind of what we talk about, like, no matter how fast you're going, where you're going, and kind of what life throws at you, there's things with you that you value and you want to carry with you. And it's good to hear like some of the things that you're able to carry with you, regardless of the situation.
Yeah. Even started doing some like light workouts, like just doing 50 squats, 50 heel raises, and a couple other different exercises. Not too strenuous, but they make me kind of work up a sweat enough and um, kind of rebuilding the muscle that I've lost and converting that, trying to turn that mush into muscle, as Arnold would say. Um, just to get started in paces. Still not fully ready to go back to a gym, just kind of mentally. But again, I'm kind of building that foundation to to go back into start. So it's just like my mental blockage of feeling like I'm being judged, even though I'm probably not, and I like 99% sure I wouldn't be. Um, Even if I were, it wouldn't matter. I'm not there for them; I'm there for me. So, um, you know, putting up the confidence to step in the one, like Matthew McConaughey said, the hardest part about going to the gym is putting your shoes on. So, still haven't been able to do that part again. Uh, we're getting there. I just gotta stay positive and put this like condo timeshare type thingy we're going to in Florida has their like club has like a gym, so, and a movie theater, so two birds with one stone. I don't know what
Heck
they
yeah.
I don't know what they have playing, but if it's anything recent, I'll take it just to, you know, just to feel good. Um but yeah, man, it's all about incremental steps and really just respect the hustle, so to speak.
Yeah. Focus on the process. Success will follow. And, sometimes it just lags. That's success and the steps that you're taking. But really, what do they say? Like, it's not about the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah, there you go.
And, yeah. So, like Lord of the Rings style. I mean, most of those movies was about the journey. Like,
All right.
there wasn't too much about, actually being in Mount Doom. I think that only made up like a small percentage of the movie, but, um, you know, having to adapt and be resilient and figure out ways to tackle some of the problems that you're going to deal with every day. And I think, it's kind of like something for me is that I deal with it a lot at work. So I don't really want to have more problems to deal with, I guess. So maybe that's why I don't deal too much with like personal improvement and things. And similarly to how I said, like it feels good to be able to tackle a problem in the same day or in a short amount of time. With personal improvement in whatever case it is. I mean, it's easier to procrastinate, but those things add up over time, and it's a lot harder to break even. Similar to what I was talking about earlier, it's like credit card debt. The APY on that is pretty high, so it's hard to get back to even. But
Nice.
you gotta you gotta take your you gotta start paying it down. Because eventually it's just gonna keep eating away at you until it's no longer sustainable. So that's kind of my thought, and what I like to give more thought to, and hopefully that'll be like the first step in kind of this personal improvement mindfulness journey of just maybe like just get back to journaling, take a note at the end of the day. It's like, how do I feel? How do I think the day went? Um, Maybe a few notes on what I'd like to work on in the next like couple days and see where that goes. So yeah, maybe that's something I'll start with tonight, and I'll report back. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had. I don't know if you have anything else.
Uh, no, I mean, it took Gandalf almost 20 years to get back to Frodo to tell him that he had the One Ring. So, everything else is in comparisons a breeze. So, just take it one step at a time. Do your research, hunt for Gollum, and visit Minas Tirith. Do your thing. But I'll end it on that.
Yeah, find out find out what's important to you, and work on a process to get there. And take the small steps. Don't fight the Balrog all the way up the hidden steps to the top of the what was it? Moria.
Yeah, Misty Mountains.
Right. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.